Eves, you're the second, welcoming us back to the week.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, folks.
Happy Monday. We're here together. We're home together again on Monday. What's the
Got
date
the
today?
H for home. You see, it's a little house.
Is that true?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Look at the H. It's a home.
It's a home. Oh, it is actually.
I know.
Oh, maybe we could get our own swag. Home together.
Home together, you see.
We
I'm
could
supporting.
get our own swag. This is so exciting. Okay, for those of you who have never joined us before, welcome to Home Together. I'm Maria Shriver.
And I'm Patrick Schwarzenegger, and we are excited to come back today on a beautiful Monday to talk with you guys and continue to bring our Home Together conversations on Instagram. And,
Yes, these are conversations with helpers, healers, and cultivators of hope. These are all people who are making a difference in this moment in time, trying to use their platforms for good, which is what we're trying to do. We're trying to be of service to highlight other people who are doing great things, trying to help out. We had a great weekend, actually. I got to participate in this incredible 24-hour streamathon called Unite, which raised about $60 or $70 million for Give Directly, which brings funds directly to people who need it, and that may be you. You can apply for those funds, whether you're having trouble with your electricity, your mortgage, anything, your food, anything you're struggling to deal with right now, they give directly. But Unite was really all about uniting us as a country, uniting us as a people, uniting us as a globe. And it was certainly incredibly inspirational to me to be among so many people who believe that we're all one, who believe that there's so much more that unites us than divides us. It was really deeply inspiring to me. And then we had your brother's graduation on Zoom, which was super cool.
Yeah, that was.
Super
I'd never done
emotional.
a graduation on Zoom before, but I think that, given the times, that we're currently going through, Zoom graduation was pretty cool. Better than nothing, and it was great to see everybody on the screen at once and all the family members getting to have at least some sort of celebration moment, and it was really fun. But we're excited to be back here today,
Right.
with Nick Kristof.
Nick Kristof, on the day when the Pulitzers were just announced, which is the highest honor in journalism. If you win a Pulitzer, you are the elite of the elite. You are a really big deal.
It's like the Oscars for journalism.
Yes. Well,
Right.
the Peabody, the Pulitzer, yes. It means that you have done extraordinary work. You're an extraordinary journalist. And Nick Kristof has won the Pulitzer. He has won the Pulitzer along with his wife, Cheryl, Dhawan. He has done incredible reporting on COVID.
I think they're the first married
Couple
couple
to
to ever win.
Yeah,
Right?
and he has a new book out, which came out about a month ago, called Tightrope, which reports all about the United States and families kind of living on the brink way before. He won it twice. That's true. He won it twice. Nick Kristof is just an extraordinary journalist. Let's just face it. He has reported all over the world, and he has done some incredible reporting on COVID. We were just watching the video that he did reporting from inside hospitals in New York.
Heartache in the hot spots.
Very good. Heartache in the hot spot. And he really he brought it to life. He said that he's covered a lot of different stories in his lifetime, and that this was one of the most, unique, obviously, and that watching the healthcare workers do their thing, here he and he used the word magnificent. So there's Nick Kristof, and he's going to talk about he's $3.5 million already
On his own.
on his own.
Mhm.
That is really big.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi, Nick. How are you?
Great. Nice to be with you.
This is Patrick.
Nice to meet you. How are you?
Meet you this way.
I'm Maria's son and the co-host of this Home Together. So welcome.
Well, that's very cool. I just look forward to the time when we're not going to be connecting on little screens, but we'll actually be able to be together and hang out and so on.
Yes, I just saw Nick when he was here right before everybody was told to stay at home. He and his wife Cheryl were here promoting their book, new book. And so now, Nick, I just want to talk a little bit. We're just watching the video you did. You've done some incredible reporting. You've raised $3.5 million. First of all, let's start with that. Are you surprised that you've been able to raise so much money for so many organizations?
You know, it's so heartwarming, Maria. And, as you know, there are a lot of folks who want to help, but they don't know who to help. They don't, they're skeptical of nonprofits. They don't really know how to help. And meanwhile, there's so many wonderful nonprofits out there doing extraordinarily good work. And so if we in the media can play some kind of a matchmaker role and connect people with the wallets and the goodwill to those or people out in the front lines doing incredible work, then that's exciting. And so it was thrilling for me to see this outpouring of money that is going to change lives. And, one of those organizations, I should say, is one you know about, Save the Children. Now, Mark Shriver is really heroic work in helping American kids who are now unable to go to school, and in many cases don't have a single children's book in the house, and this will help those kids.
That's so great. And there's other organizations. Nick, can you tell about the other organizations that your initiative supports? In
Yeah,
addition to Save the
yeah. So there's a group of five. I feel like I'm a little. Here we go. There we go.
A lot of books.
How's that? There are five organizations. So another is called Catalyst Kitchens, which uses it was originally for training people who had been homeless or were recovering from addiction to cook institutional meals so they could get jobs in the restaurant industry. And now, since COVID, it has reimagined itself and is providing meals for people who are hungry, who need them around the country in I think 34 states around the country. Another is called Water for People. It works internationally, and a third of clinics in poor countries don't have running water in the clinics. We tell people to wash their hands, and 3 billion people worldwide don't have water and soap in the home. And so Water for People helps bring that water so people can at least wash their hands. And then the IRC, the International Rescue Committee, does just heroic work in some of the hardest, toughest spots around the world: Syria, South Sudan, Yemen. Truly heroic people. And then the Center for American Indian Health. One of the hardest hit communities in the U.S. has been Native American communities, and many Native American communities, some of the Navajo in the Southwest, they likewise don't have running water, in the U.S. And so the American government, the Indian Health Service spends less per person on healthcare than the Bureau of Prisons spends on healthcare for each person. I mean, it's mind-boggling. And so these are folks in desperate need of support, and it's been wonderful to see readers and Instagram folks step up and help.
And did you start by choosing these different organizations prior to COVID, or did you kind of go through and say, okay, these are 5 different pillars of where we really need to use our resources to help during this time, and I'm going to be the medium to kind of tell everyone about these, or how'd you choose?
So Patrick, originally what I had done was every December in kind of the run up to the holidays, so I would pick a few organizations, and then people would support them for over the holiday season. And then when COVID began, readers began to reach out to me and say, well, who's helping with COVID? Well, who can I support for a COVID response? And so at that time, I picked these 5 organizations that I thought were doing outstanding work, in particular with a COVID response, and that I thought would, maybe capture the public imagination both domestically and abroad. And so that's how it all came together.
Here, Nick, people are asking where they can support that. Where do they go to support you?
So I wish we had a snappier website, but it's Kristof, which is Kristof,
Uh-huh.
C19 for COVID-19,
Right.
impactinitiative.org. So Kristof, C19, impactinitiative.org.
Yes.
Okay.
And
We'll
you can,
make sure to put that in
yeah.
our
Oh,
bio.
that would be great. And one very cool thing is that a nonprofit has donated to cover the credit card fees, so
Oh
that
wow.
Oh,
mates then 100 cents on the dollar reaches those great people out in the field doing incredible work.
That's great. Well, I wanted to talk quickly, right before we had come onto this interview, we're located in Los Angeles, California. Our governor, Gavin Newsom, has been doing a great job of trying to navigate through this whole COVID-19. He said that this Friday we'll be going into phase 2, allowing certain retail store shops to do curbside pickups and everything. When we also watched your kind of video, it seemed like this hotspot was still very much a hotspot. What can you tell us about going into that phase 2? Is it kind of premature? What have you been seeing kind of on the front lines?
Well, I mean, first of all, I have to say that the West Coast has really handled this particularly well. From Gavin Newsom to Kate Brown to Jay Inslee, the governors of California, Oregon, and Washington have all, Washington in particular had some of the first cases and tamped it down. So all 3 states, I think, have done heroic work on this. You know, I wish I had good news, but I don't. I think that the number of cases is going to continue in this 25 to 30,000 a day range. And as we loosen up, it may even rise. I think we are going to continue to lose somewhere in the neighborhood, I'm afraid, of 2,000 people a day nationally. And I think that's kind of a fact of life until we get a better treatment. And, remdesivir helps at the margin. It is not a breakthrough. We're getting a little better at some kinds of treatments, but there's no breakthrough. A vaccine is a long way off. And so I think, we're going to be relaxing and the rules a little bit. And then when we get an outbreak in some area, then we're going to clamp down there. It would help if we had more testing. We can also, in the absence of testing and swabs and reagent, we can also test sewage. And that's something that the Netherlands is doing, for example. If we tested sewage in LA, San Francisco, elsewhere, we would know, where we're going to have an outbreak in 5 days, and then we could tighten rules again there. But it's, at some point we have to loosen up. I think the beaches are actually an area where my sense of the science is that when people are outside, the risks are probably manageable.
Right.
But so I think that's a place to loosen up. Malls are more of a problem than a small retail shop that is more isolated.
Yeah, he was saying no malls and no kind of larger areas, and all the retail was going to be just pick up to go kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Curbside pickup. But I guess I'm curious because your video that we watched, it showed the epicenter in kind of in New York and everything, these hospitals being under such high stress with not enough beds for their patients. So, I mean, with relaxing some of the laws, I know that, at some point we have to, like you had said. Do you think that these hospitals can take that increase in new patients that could come of this?
So New York is coming down now. I went back to actually that same emergency room that you saw there, and it was in much better shape. And the rest of the country is likewise in somewhat better shape. So I think that we can relax carefully. And then, I'm afraid there will be more infections and there will be more deaths, and we will see hospitalizations go up. One of the things we need to be really careful of is that there's always this lag. And so we have to have really early warning systems. So the moment we think that infections are increasing, then that's when you clamp down again. But, I don't think there's a good way of managing this. I think at some point we have to let kids go back to school. But the result, I'm afraid, is going to be not so much that kids will die, but that some teachers will die, some custodial people will die, and we can try to minimize these risks, you know, with masks and kids on alternate days. But I think we both have to relax to some degree. I think there's a way of doing that without elevating infections, hospitalizations,
Nick,
and deaths, I'm afraid.
Nick,
Boy, I'm just a barrel of
you
laughs
talked
today.
in the video about
I wish I
watching
had
these
better...
doctors do their work, and you used the word that it's really magnificent to watch what they were doing. We're starting to hear some stories now about the fact that they've been on the job really for 6 or 7 weeks, 24 hours a day, and their mental health has to be considered. Are you reporting on that at all? And what can be done to support these healthcare professionals who are on the line 24 hours a day? Who's helping them?
I think it's one young doctor I spoke to who ER, and she's comforting patients and telling them they're going to be okay, and she's, you know, adjusting their oxygen.
I think Nick.
And I spoke to several doctors who were talking about nightmares. Remember, these doctors are worried about not only themselves, but also about infecting their personal protective equipment. And it's so...
Yeah, Nick is cutting in and out. We know that.
We try to restart him, maybe?
Nick, I think you're cutting in and out. I don't know. Fully frozen.
As Adam Miller says, he's going into another dimension.
That's good. He's so knowledgeable, though, as Joe
you guys hear us?
said. You can hear us, right? Yes, we can. He was cutting in and out. Nick, we can try him again.
Let's make sure that everyone is making sure they can hear us fine and that our service is great.
I think our service, we can restart. The book name is Tightrope.
Yes, everyone says yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear us. So we can try Nick again. Yep. But it's really incredible. I never thought about testing sewage. That's just wild. Or staggering classrooms.
The Netherlands was doing that?
Yes, staggering classroom times is also a very good idea. Staggering work days might be also a really good idea. So everybody's going to have to be super creative at this moment in time, including businesses. Restaurants could stagger lunch times. I can hear Maria and Patrick. Yeah, our service is great.
Yep, it says.
Well, but maybe Nick can't come on here. It says, but anyway, I think Nick, he told us about all the money he's raised. He told us about the organizations that he's supporting. You can support him supporting the organizations that he is supporting by
Kristof 19.
Yeah, .covid 19.
No. Kristof. No. Kristof C19.
.impact.
No, impact.org.
Oh, impact.org. See, look at that. Okay.
I think.
But anyway, we'll put it up there so everybody knows where to help him. And then also you can go to Nick Kristof on Twitter or everywhere else. I think he's gone bye-bye.
Yeah,
I think he, but his book, which is terrific, it's called Tightrope, Americans Reaching for Hope. It came out, there he's back there again. We can try him again, or we can just thank him for joining us and supporting so many worthwhile organizations.
Oh, here, Kristof, someone just posted that. Kristof, C19 Impact Initiative.
Okay.
I'm so sorry about that. It was so frustrating because I was watching and I saw I was frozen. But
we used the time to talk about your initiative to see Patrick remembered the name better, but other people...
Actually, I didn't. Some other people. I remembered part of it, then other people on here luckily were commenting it. So it was Kristof C19 impactinitiative.org.
You have the best followers, because they were bailing us all out, and so it was Kristof C19 impactinitiative.org, and you you have some very smart followers who are helping out there.
Well, you have a lot of really dedicated people who read you, obviously, and who want to help. I think this has been, your book just finally, Nick, they came out earlier. You talked about Americans reaching for hope. Has this changed your view of Americans in the last 5-6 weeks?
Maria, I think that there is some chance that one outcome of this horrible pandemic will be that America will finally address some underlying problems that we haven't.
Yeah.
In normal times of chronic disease, heart disease, kidney disease, whatever, then there's less incentive to address the fact that we don't have universal health care, that we don't have paid sick leave. But when it's infectious disease, then all of a sudden it's in the interest of every tycoon that every gardener, every food server have universal health care and have paid sick leave. And I hope that the result will be that this country will finally join what every other advanced country in the world does, which is to provide universal health care, paid sick leave, some dignity for people across the country. We've been an outlier for way too long.
Yeah, the name of your book, though, that was Americans Reaching for Hope, and you and your wife, Cheryl, had traveled all around the United States, a lot into rural communities. I've been really kind of inspired by the humanity that's risen up in this pandemic. You've raised $3.5 million. So many organizations have been able to raise money. People have contributed $5, $10 to help their fellow human beings, people they've never laid eyes on. I think that there's so much more that unites us, and we in the press haven't done that great of job about focusing the light on everything that unites us, which has just kind of come up, I think.
I think that's true. I mean, we focus on controversy, and that is sometimes enormously helpful for the country. I mean, I must say that one of the things that I worry about is social isolation.
Yeah.
Social isolation.
Okay. I think Nick is frozen again.
One of the things I wrote about in Tightrope was how many people were lost, and that
Nick's
frozen again.
Nick's frozen, but luckily he's not frozen in his reporting. His internet may be frozen, but his reporting is very much live and active.
I feel bad for his Wi-Fi company. He's going to do a deep dive.
Everybody knows where. Over and out. Thank you very much, Nick Kristof, for joining us. He's in the epicenter in New York, so maybe they're just having trouble with their...
Probably so many people on the Wi-Fi at once and at home.
Yeah.
That's what was happening here in LA for a few weeks. So, but anyways, I think that was still great. We got to hear about his experience in the hotspot in New York, and how, in fact, the hospital has seen a decrease in patients and have gotten a little bit of a breather. But, like he said, he is worried about what could come back, what could happen to these hospital beds if we start to lay off these rules. But at the same time, a lot of people feel like we need to, and we should. It's been a while. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm sure he will do a follow-up again to that. It's been great to see how much money and awareness he's raised with the different charities and organizations.
I just think, and I'm so inspired by so many. What a shame. I was enjoying listening to Nick. We were too, but we can always get him back another time. And you can always follow his reporting on Twitter. You can follow it on the New York Times. He has a newsletter, and he's definitely somebody. I always say to my kids, pick wisely who you follow, because that influences your mind and spirit. But that is one great journalist to follow. Yeah, he is. For sure. And so I want to thank Nick Kristof for coming on today, for all of his extraordinary work throughout his life.
Oh, look at this.
What?
Foolish.asf said, Is he your son or your boyfriend?
You?
I guess.
God. Wow. Well, that must be because I was like teasing out Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, that people think I could actually get a guy that looks like this.
No, guys, I'm your son.
He's my son. Yeah. But I'm actually kind of inspired. That's a really nice gift to give me on a Monday morning.
Yeah, there you go. Monday motivation.
Monday motivation that I could get a guy. I don't want a guy that looks as young as you. Anyway, or is as young as you. Anyway, we want to thank the guy, Nick Kristof, for joining us for all his extraordinary work. And we will see you back here tomorrow. We're going to be talking with Bob Roth. I don't know who we have on tomorrow. We're going to talk to Lewis Howes this week. We're going to talk to Bob Roth, who's doing a lot of work for healthcare workers with the David Lynch Foundation on meditation. And we have lots of other people. So
tons of others.
Tons of others.
I think Jim Quick.
Oh, yes, Jim Quick and his new book. That's right. Yeah. He was in the Sunday paper, and it was the most read part of the Sunday paper yesterday.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
His new book called Limitless, How to Make Your Brain Work for You. And he's super smart about that. That's really good. I forgot. So. All
right. Well, I hope you guys have a great Monday. Thank you guys for tuning in. Sorry about that Wi-Fi and different connection issues. But yeah, we look forward. Hopefully we'll talk again with Nick Kristof. I think it'd be interesting to talk with him again in a few weeks to see where everything is and where we're developing to. So thank you guys for watching, and we will talk with you soon.
Bye.